Well, okay. So for the benefit of people that don't know, we've got Dan Jones in with us this morning, and Manchester's strongest man, or
As of last year, it was taken off me this year.
oh, was it?
I did ref the competition, so at least I got to see who won it instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's amazing in one thing, and obviously infamous for the injury that occurred in competition, and we might put that on, but we'll warn you before. It's quite. It's not the nicest thing I've ever watched. I'm quite squeamish for. I found out, and so we'll talk about that, and then, what's happened since, which I think is pretty cool, and how you're using that to help other people and all that. How did you get into the strongman thing? What was the catalyst?
Well, back in, when was it? When England lost the Euro final?
Okay.
2021.
Yeah.
Push back a year. There was a picture of me and a friend who was at the time the fat friend.
Okay.
And he didn't look like the fat friend.
Oh, right.
So we were just two fat blokes drinking beer. And it was then, and friend Ash had just said, come and start the gym with me and we'll start going. So it was literally the week after the England final.
Yeah.
I just started into the gym just to lose weight, just to feel better about myself. No other reason. And within about 6 months, I'd lost about 2-3 stone. And It was just, the dopamine from the gym really started affecting us. I now felt bad when I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it was just that feeling of then becoming addicted to the gym rather than drinking beer and doing whatever during COVID that ruined your life. The gym then made me just feel good.
Yeah.
So it was just me becoming addicted to the gym that has just snowballed into me getting strong in the gym.
Yeah.
And then finding friends that were doing competitions.
Yeah.
And thinking, I could do some of this. And then testing it and then actually finding out I could do some of it.
Yeah.
And it was just a really natural lose weight, get stronger, start finding something to go after, some sort of, there's got to be something you're going after in your head. You can't, and just Manchester Strongest Man last year was just kind of the catalyst of me going for it.
Yeah.
My friend did it the year before and he won his competition. So it was just watching some of it and going, I could do some of that.
Yeah.
And then I started training with him. Every couple of weeks we'd go to the Strongman gym and start training. And I just started getting good and I was just training specifically for that competition.
Yeah.
And when that competition came round, it was like I'd found what I was supposed to be doing. Like Strongman is just the best sport.
Yeah.
And you don't understand it unless you're a part of it because it probably looks quite intimidating from the outside.
Right.
Because you've got all these big men.
Yeah.
But they're all the softest guys.
Yeah.
And they all want you to do the best. And no one wants you to fail an event, or everyone wants you to do absolutely everything to push them as well.
Yeah.
And that environment is just not an environment you can replicate anywhere else.
Yeah.
In most sports, someone has to do bad for you to do well. In strongman, you can all do well. And it's just, that's what it is.
Do you feel like there's some form of genetic ability to, and with strength wise?
I think there's got to be a bit of it. I think there's definitely a little bit of. My mum's quite wide.
Tell me if we need to cut that out.
my mum, I'd say well built. Dad is also well built.
So your dad's here and doesn't look like a small chap to me.
Vertically challenged, but as wide as I am.
Yeah.
So there is definitely this strength in the family.
Yeah.
My dad's granddad was a farmer and he was a big guy.
Yeah.
So there's definitely generations of strength, but it's not to kind of, I've kind of broken the mold and now using strength to do something. Just being like functionally strong, because it's mainly been functional strength in the family, really. No one's really gone and done some of the things I'm doing now.
They say that Eddie Hill's got some form of genetic...
the rhino gene, was it?
Yeah.
Some sort of rhino gene.
There's not many... Well, perhaps he's just made that up. It's self-promotion, but that kind of, it's when genetics and interest and and hard work come together, isn't it?
Eddie is the epitome of both of that. He was just swimmer first and then turned into strongman. He was just...
Was he swimmer?
He was a swimmer before he went into strongman, and that's why he was so like cardiovascular strong and fit, as well as ridiculously strong. And I think that just the both of them put together has just made this absolute freak of an athlete.
The unit. Because a lot of strongman competitions, there's a bit of aerobic side of it anyway, isn't there? You know, in terms of, not as in running long distances, but you'll be carrying things a long way. And
it's a lot more now. So strongman used to be who lifted the heaviest thing the most amount of times, whereas now it's kind of dropped down to who can lift 80% of the heaviest thing the most amount of time.
Yeah.
And you find there's a lot more moving events. There's a lot of the events are for distance, so it becomes more of a fitness event. You find there's because obviously you've got the open class, which is what you see on the telly, the world's strongest man. That's the open class of athletes.
Yeah.
But then also you've got like the 105 athletes, the 90 athletes, and the 80 athletes, all under them kilogram weights.
Right. Okay.
And you find a lot of them are a bit kind of like high rocks. Bit really fit, really strong. And then you get to like the 105s and the 120s in the opens, and you can see kind of the shape of a strongman gets different.
Yeah.
They go from ripped to bits, and then up to like 120, and then they just become like these power bellies and monsterly strong, really good statically. Yeah. And you've also got like these freaks of nature, like Paddy Haynes, who is, if you stand him next to Hatfield Bjornsson, just looks like an average man, but he's got one of the biggest deadlifts in the country at the minute, and it's just crazy what these people can do and what they're showing, even at the lower weights these days.
Yeah. Do you think that, I mean, psychology goes into it a lot, doesn't it? Once someone does it once, it seems like it's a lot easier for other people. The easier is the worst word to use, but it's more possible and more things. It's a bit like the 4-minute mile with running. And as soon as one person's done it, it's like, oh, right, okay, it is possible.
Well, that's Eddie's 500 kilogram.
Yeah.
Eddie's 500 kilogram deadlift, proved it was possible. Because up until he did it, because I think he broke the world record by 37 kilos that day.
Yeah.
And each year before that, it was 1 kilo a year or something.
Yeah.
So if Eddie wouldn't have broken that by 37 kilos back in 2007 or 8, we still wouldn't be at 500 kilos. People would still be doing 1 kilo at a time.
Yeah.
So for Hatfield to now be pulling 510, I don't think that was even a thought of anyone's mind until Eddie pulled to 500. And I think that's where the sport kind of blew up and really shown that these people are
crazy,
just freak athletes. Like, people aren't supposed to pick 500 kilos off the floor.
No,
it's not. It's not something anyone should be doing.
So we may as well mention the injury and what happened. Tell people what was the competition that you did?
So it was at Southport Strongest Man last year.
Yeah,
September the 1st. I was running with 80 kilograms of weight in a farmer's carry, and halfway down the track, my knees just snapped. So Patellar tendon snapped on both knees.
Right.
On the we still don't know exactly why or exactly what happened, but when I've watched the video maybe 1,000 times, and I've really slowed it down to see what happened, what's going on. The right knee buckles.
Okay.
So, and it's quite common for one to go. Everyone's seen ACLs go, PCL. One can go, and it's fairly common across the planet. Both going. I was the 53rd recorded case last year when I did it. When I was speaking to a man in America, he was the last person to do it before me, and he got told he was the 52nd.
Wow.
So potentially the numbers can be slightly skewed, but from what we know, I was the 53rd person ever recorded to do both at the same time.
Do you think that, so that obviously one buckled, all the pressure goes on the other?
One buckled, and then the left knee hits the ground so hard, it like burst. The left knee was about maybe twice the size of the right knee because it was an impact snap rather than a kind of...
okay. Wow.
So the swelling was horrific.
Yeah. Do you remember that, the time, or is it kind of, what was your first kind of feeling when you...
My first feeling was, how far does this push me down the rankings? I think that's the first thing I asked when I sat up. Does that mean I've not won though?
Yeah.
But the thing I remember most is the silence. It felt like, because I watching the video back and watching going on, I lay there for maybe 5 seconds, just kind of like, just to gather me thoughts, nothing more. It was just like, what's going on there? And then I sit up, and my brothers jumped over the barriers. The other brothers taking one of the knee sleeves off. You look down and you can see both kneecaps are about this far.
Okay.
Higher than they should have been. So we knew there was a problem.
Yeah.
One of the physios on the deck, they tried to put it back in, because obviously the right thing to do. Have you desiccated it? Let's see what's going on. Tried to do it and literally pushed it down, and it just pinged back up. It was like a elastic band, just pinged back up into the quad.
Wow.
But yeah, the wince that you're doing is the wince that kind of the whole place on the day did.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like there's any indicators beforehand that there might be weakness in the patella? Or
no, So I was doing quite well on the day. Like we'd done 4 events, 3 of them had finished in the top 3. So I mean, this was the last event of the day.
Yeah.
So potentially it was a bit of wear and day. It was a long day. We did a truck pull beforehand, so we put a lot of into it. But for me, there was no indication on.
Yeah.
Do I feel any worse? Or I felt good going into the last event. It's just a freak accident that's just ended up in like changing my life.
Yeah.
Completely.
Did you ever think like, oh, God, this could be over? As the career kind of
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, being told you got to learn to walk again isn't something that a 29-year-old man is very often.
Yeah.
That is kind of in the physical peak of his life.
Yeah.
Winning competitions, feeling good, getting told you have to learn to walk again is not something you think you're going to ever get told. So of course you feel like that's it. Like, do you like, I've got to walk again. Am I going to be able to do Strongman? Am I able to kind of lift weights again?
Yeah.
Back then I had no idea I'd be in the position I am now.
It's not that long ago.
It was, 14 months ago?
Yeah. I saw you walk in.
Yeah.
Seem all right?
I get up myself.
Let's go sideways through the door, but
that's genetics.
Mad. Well, so from there, what was, you went to hospital and all that kind of stuff. What was it before you thought, actually, I'm going to carry on, I'm going to, do the rehab and we will do it?
I think one of the biggest things was, every time I spoke to a physio, spoke to a doctor, spoke to anyone, everyone was like, I've never seen this before. So when people are telling me, I'll never do Strongman again, I'll never lift weights again, I'll never run again.
Yeah.
Not run, it's going to take a long time before you can do any of these things.
Yeah.
None of them actually knew that was the case.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever seen it before.
No.
They can only go off how bad it was.
Yeah.
And kind of how bad one is maybe, or how bad another one is. No one sees 2. So for me, it was like, I just prove everyone wrong and prove myself that mentally we can get through it. I mean, it's been hard. Like, it's not, it's not been an easy recovery at all.
No. Are you in plaster for a long time after? So there's an operation to put them back together.
Yeah.
And then did they fix you in place?
So I woke up before the injury. The last 2 times in America, they put the guys in plaster casts for 6 weeks.
Right.
That's turned out to be the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you go in a cast, you lose your muscle, there's atrophy, you literally disintegrate. So what's happened is one of the guys I must have spoken to everyone that's done 2 that's online. I've spoken to them since, because I've seen the video and seen how it's gone.
Yeah.
These 2 guys, one's still in a wheelchair 3 years on, after having 4 surgeries, because it's just not got better.
Yeah.
And one of them is 2 years in and still not in the position I am a year in.
Yeah.
Because both of them, because the muscles both deteriorate so much, they then had issues with their ligaments. So obviously the ACL, the PCL, and the MCL, because that's the one that connects the muscles together.
Yeah.
Whereas the tendon connects the bones together. So because of the muscle atrophy, that's then caused them not be able to walk the way they should have walked, or not be able to do what they want to do straight away, which has then meant they've not been able to rehab their tendon because the ligaments have gone soft. So it's
Gosh. Yeah.
So I was put in a leg brace for 6 weeks,
right,
but I was made to stand up after 2 days,
okay,
which is mental for them to
yeah,
even think about, because they were in cast for 6 weeks. So
Yeah.
when they've seen me stood up after 3 days, starting to shuffle and walk after 5, they're like, what the fuck is like, how are you even able to do this?
yeah,
Not necessarily like, they weren't even allowed to move.
yeah,
And they've got this guy online that they're now following this recovery of.
yeah.
And 5 days in, he stood up like that. What? How are you allowed to stand up and I wasn't? I think there's probably a little bit of like, I don't know, they're American, so I don't know whether it's like the longer they're in cast, the longer they get looked after, the more money get, because none of them pay for it. Whereas the NHS, they're all like, we've got to try and get them out as quickly as possible, haven't we? So
yeah.
So I don't know whether it was a bit of that, but then at the same time, when I've spoken to people that have just done one, to get them stood up on it straight away.
Yeah.
They've just got a good leg to help them stand up and do it on.
Right. Yeah.
I just didn't have a good leg. So it was really hard to work out how you're going to stand up for the first time, how are you even going to do it, because I couldn't throw the legs off the bed and stand up because I couldn't bend them. So it was...
Yeah. Was it painful? Stupid question.
I'll
ask a lot of that.
It was like a hot pins and needles to start with.
Yeah.
Because the kneecaps were in the wrong place, so a lot of like the nerves were like, it felt like it was fizzing, that sort of.
Yeah. Because your kneecaps, from what I know, is they have grooves inside over time because it gets used to where it is, and if they're off slightly, it can cause irritation and all sorts.
Well, imagine it being your kneecap being here and the kneecap's here. So it's not. It's not even in.
Well,
when you look down, there's like an indent in the knee where it should have been. Like it's. I've got pictures of how I'll put it in, and you could potentially chuck it into just to see. I took a picture of it when I was on the way to the hospital. Yeah. And you can see where the bottom of the kneecap should have been and where it was. It was probably about 2.5 inches out of where it should have been. And that was the one that they tried to put back in. So.
Right. Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't. It ached. It was like a toothache for about 6 weeks. Yeah. Even after the surgery, after it was going on. Yeah. But initially it was like, hot pins and needles is the way I'd explain just how it felt.
Yeah. You mentioned when we spoke the other day that you had a lot of people reach out to you and send you wishes at the time.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Hall and...
But that was the craziest one. Like, from going from like very not really known strongman, just doing what he done and just being very beginning of a strongman career, to then have this massive injury and Eddie Hall reach out to me. It was like... I just didn't believe it was real. It was mental. But for that sort of caliber of person to reach out to me and wish me well, that really shows that the strongman community that I experienced at the level I was at is the same community all the way up to world's strongest man level. Like everyone is really caring and really wants you to be okay. Like he want you to be okay. And I know it wasn't just like a one-off. I hope you're doing okay. Because a year on, which was last month. Yeah. He reshared the story and was like, I remember when this happened. Hope he's doing okay. I've seen he's doing okay. And then Mitchell Hooper shared it and Brian Shaw shared it. These are all like the biggest names of the strongman world are all sharing me falling over. And it's just mental that the absolute caliber of strongman. Brian Shaw is probably the greatest of all time. Mitchell Hooper's probably the greatest Canadian of all time, or even one of the best at the minute. And then Eddie, obviously.
They care enough to
at least share a story to say, oh, look at this guy, I hope he's doing okay. I think the most mental one was Ronnie Coleman then shared it. And that the strongmen ones I can kind of understand because they see maybe Eddie shared it and he But for Ronnie Coleman to share it, who is just one of the goats of the planet, not just the strong, he's just one of the greatest people. It feels mental that I could walk into a room potentially and me in there, and he wouldn't know who I was, but I could start talking about my injury and he might at least recognise me. It feels mental that he might just recognise me.
It's amazing. It's not really what you'd expect from an outsider like me, the community and the support that they're all giving. They obviously know what it takes to do what they do.
It's not easy. It takes a lot of strain on the body. Just I've proved that it can go to some extremes, and you can only do so much.
Yeah.
But these guys are doing it week in, week out, and they're putting their body through ridiculous amounts of pressure and pain for very, very little reward.
Yeah.
Which I think we can probably start talking about some of the kind of...
Yeah.
Strongman isn't a full-time job for kind of anyone, really.
No.
Strongman is probably the most expensive hobby on the planet.
Yeah.
With the help of kind of some of the sponsors that send you like free equipment and gear and stuff and to get on with it.
Yeah.
But the actual money that's in Strongman, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just, I think Tom Stoltman won World's Strongest Man last year and won £100,000, which sounds brilliant. Fine. The overall pop was 250 grand, but only the top performers got paid. There was 25 people that could be at World's Strongest Man last year. So potentially 15 of them didn't get paid. 25 of the best, strongest athletes on the planet, and only 10 of them are being paid because they've done well in it. That it seems ridiculous that even at the top level,
there'd be more sponsorship and more,
and it's getting bigger. There's better ones. I know Brian Shaw, I think I wrote it down, Brian Shaw he put on his competition this year, the Strongest Man on Earth, and it was this competition for him and his wife that set up, and it was £190,000 he managed to get as prize money, which was down 70k from last year.
Right.
So the winner of that won like 68k, then 30k for second and 20k for third.
Yeah. Again,
all good money.
Yeah.
If you're winning.
Yeah.
Strongman isn't a sport you can do
just as
for fun, really. Yeah. It's not unless you are winning competitions, you're not getting paid for it. I think there was a local competition at Bionic, which is in Oldham.
Yeah.
And it was like a Northwest Invitational. It was like a £10,000 prize pot. Winner got 5k, second, however, down there. But that was a local competition, and that's one of the biggest prize pots we've got in the Northwest.
Yeah.
So, and you had to go and win that to win £5,000.
Yeah.
That's not, you can't live on that for the year, can you? If you're training specifically for that one competition.
No,
it's not a job. And I think it's a bit, you kind of get to that level and you look at how well all these guys are doing. And unless you're winning the competitions, there's no real monetary value in it.
Yeah.
There is, because obviously you become well known. You become being able, I know a lot of the guys I know, there's like Paul Smith, who is 3 times Britain's Strongest Man. He was my coach when I was doing Strongman. And his full-time job is as a trainer. Well, it's a dad first, but then it's a trainer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when Paul's won Britain's Strongest Man before, and Paul can't do it as a full-time job.
No.
So that's the level we're at the minute, is these guys can only keep doing what they're doing and hopefully become like personal trainers, become gym trainers, become strongman trainers, and then make money that way. And then strongman is just the expensive hobby on the side of it that you do just as part of the fun of it. So it's...
Yeah. I mean, it was the type of food and nutrition and training, and it all costs money, doesn't it? And rehab and all that.
You've got to get lucky that a lot of these guys want to sponsor you, and they do. There is, at the England's level, sponsors do want to sponsor you, and they want to send you the stuff. They want you to wear it. They want you to wear it on the stage and actually promote it. I've had similar experiences, but at a very low level. There's companies called like Iron Animal and Apollon that are both local companies. Do you want to and they push for like local strongmen and strong women. They're not looking at the world stage. They've just managed to get local guys to kind of just wear their products and start putting it out there, just so they can become a little bit more, just help their business out.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, is more rewarding. If you're helping these low-level guys out, just get 1 or 2 sales, they're a lot more appreciative than these big companies that you're not getting anything off unless you're then selling their product, but they want you to be pushing it, and you don't really care. They just want you to sell it.
Yeah.
Whereas these little guys really do appreciate it, and for me, that's...
Yeah.
If I can help a couple of people out, we're all in the same boat, aren't we? None of us are earning money from it, but if we can all get a little bit of extra from it, then it's all...
Yeah.
It's all a win for all of us.
So, where are you at the moment with it?
So, like 14 months post, I hit a deadlift PB 2 weeks ago, which was a PB even with the injury.
Okay.
So in this last 12 months, I've managed to be the strongest I've ever been,
Okay.
the fittest I've ever been. The only thing I can't do is sprint.
Right.
But I didn't sprint most of it. But I can move pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, and even the doctors I was signed off in September are impressed with how far I am compared to where they expected me to be.
Yeah.
As I said in September, I had to learn to walk again. And I don't think my goal was to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle in December.
Yeah.
Our friends were getting married and she was the flower girl.
Right.
And she just turned 1, so obviously she's not walking yet.
Yeah.
So the goal was, can I carry her down? So for me, I set a goal to be walking without crutches or any sort of aid by the middle of December.
Yeah.
The doctor had told me I'd still need some sort of walking frame or a crutch until February.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not walking Violet down the aisle with a crutch.
With the crutch.
And because of that, and I just pushed and pushed and pushed, and sometimes pushed probably a bit too hard. So I pushed a bit too hard. So I did have a bit of pushback. I struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
But having that goal really pushed me on to the next step and to be able to carry on and actually fulfill that goal and go, right, well, I did that. What's the next one? What's the next one? And just setting small goals is where it's got me kind of where I am now in a much better position than I was months ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite amazing, the speed of recovery, I think. Do you have aspirations of competing again?
I'd love to compete again, but I'm also not stupid enough to know that I can't run with weights at the minute and I can't do some of the events.
Yeah.
So there is competitions I'd like to do. There's static competitions like log lifts and deadlifts that I'd be able to do now because I train now. I train at a standard. So to beat these guys, I'd have to go into push myself. And I couldn't do it at the minute.
Okay.
And for me, Strongman is an enjoyable sport for everyone, but I want to win. And that's just the mindset of me. And I know it's sometimes it's good, sometimes bad, but for me, I'd have to go in thinking I've got a chance at this.
Sure.
To be really push myself. And I know it's a bad mindset sometimes because you just need to use competitions to go and get a PB on the day or go and do this to do this. But for me, it was always just, I'm good at this, so I want to push myself. And it's been really hard this last year, or until I'm now getting as strong again, to be doing like a bench press and thinking, I used to be able to do more than this. Or I could do a leg press, I could do more than this. And mentally, it's been really difficult to get out of that mindset of, I used to be stronger. And just something twigged beginning of this year where everything became a new PB. So it was like, this is a post-injury PB. You know, my mindset just slightly changed from, I used to be able to do this to, this is the best I've done.
Yeah. And
that's really, really helped me push myself to where I am now.
Yeah.
Because it's just not been, mentally going from the peak of your strength to not be able to walk. The drop's too drastic, and it's so hard to get out of that. This is what I can do mentality when there's been so much going on.
Yeah. It's like you've had you've done a whole kind of doctorate on psychology in a year, because, you could just believe people saying, no, you're not going to walk again or do anything. But actually you're going, well, no, I've got to walk my daughter down the aisle. I've got to, do all this kind of stuff and little goals, and achieving them is really, seems like it's been a real kind of, do you think you're better mentally now than you were pre-injury?
Yeah. I think the injuries helped a lot with being able to take a step back and appreciate what I've got at the time. Because last year it was a lot of win Manchesters, win Southports, win this, getting invited to England. It was always looking at what was the next competition. Whereas the injury has made me realise, enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's been really kind of, you're lucky to be able to do it. So if you're doing it and you're doing it to a good standard, enjoy what you're doing. Don't just keep looking at what the next one is or what the next one is.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it and being in the moment a lot more. And that's helped with my daughter as well. And just, and that's just experiencing life in the moment has been a massive thing. And I think that boils down to being in the hospital for like 6.5 weeks after the injury
Mm.
and not being able to see my daughter and my wife every day and not be able to do that because I was just stuck in the bed. So that's made me really realise that the injury was probably a good thing in the outcome of it all.
Yeah.
We've been able to help so many people on the back end of it, being able to live in the moment a bit more, to be able to just get the story out and speak to people and just really help. Most people get into the gym most men get into the gym because they're depressed and they hate themselves.
Right.
Most people I speak to, it's because they don't want to do something or they don't like that something. So like, I need to do this to feel better.
Yeah, yeah. And
this injury has made me realise that there's more to it than just feeling better.
Mm.
And it's being a man isn't about being the strongest, isn't about being the biggest guy in the room. And it's about being there for your friends, being there for your family, being there to speak to people who do have it worse off than you, because you've been worse off and you realise how small you feel sat in a hospital bed, and you've got friends that you might not have spoken to for a while. They're reaching out to you and it makes you feel good because people care about you. And being in that environment has really helped me. I reach out to a lot more of my friends a lot more and make sure they're okay and just see what's going on. And that's because I was so low in the hospital. I don't want anyone to ever feel as low as I did. And I think that's really helped with me being there for my friends and family now, which again is mental way of thinking of it. But when you're kind of put in such a low position, you'll find anything for positives. And these things have all really helped with the recovery of where I am now.
If someone is in that similar situation now and they were seeking advice, what would you say to them?
Everyone's advice is exercise. If someone's depressed, exercise is the best form of medication. And I agree. But what people do is they just go for a run. And I hate going for a run. I've never done a run and felt better after it.
Yeah.
And then people go for a run and go, well, that made me feel shit. And then won't do anything else to try anything else. The gym genuinely is one of the best places you can go to. Even if you just go and you just do 10 minutes on the treadmill, you get to experience the environment of everyone's actually in there for himself, trying to do better.
Yeah.
The gyms can be quite intimidating and everyone's like, oh, maybe they're looking at me or they're doing that. And no one's looking at you. Everyone's fighting their own battles in their head and they're in the gym to feel better about themselves. And I think once you've been into a gym a couple of times and you can see that, you then become confident enough to then go into the gym yourself. The hardest part of the gym is going to the gym. Once you're in there, you'll never feel worse than when you were beforehand. Yeah. But if you go for a run, sometimes you'll feel worse after you've been for a run. So for me, it is exercise. It will make you feel better. You've just got to find what type of exercise you enjoy. Yeah. So for me, that advice would always be get yourself in the gym, find a friend that goes to the gym, speak to everyone wants to feel better about himself. The gym is genuinely the best place you feel good.
So if you were to say there was someone like you in the bed with a really bad injury and they brought you in as a consultant to help them, and be that support for them, what would you say is advice for people around? Because obviously it's tough for family and friends and all that, because
from the point of view of being in the bed, listen to the doctors, listen to the physios, do all the exercises they say you do, and then do a little bit more. They don't want you to do too much, but they'll always give you a bit less just in case. The physios have been great. The rehab team have been great. Take all advice you can get to, take all everything that's offered to you, take that. But also go online and search on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere, knee injuries, or if on my instance, it was patellar tendon rupture, search that specific hashtag. And there's more and more videos of people putting it out there of their recovery. Because when I did my injury, I did the same thing for bilateral patellar tendon tear, which is what I did. And the only thing that came back was Reddit stories about how bad it was. There was no recovery stories or nothing. So that's why I started posting on TikTok. Yeah. Because I was like, well, even if I help one person, that's one person that if they get in the position I was in, they've at least got someone they could reach out to, someone's video to watch, something. They could see a little bit of positivity in the world of Reddit, just saying how bad it was. And that genuinely is what has happened over the last 12, 14 months or so now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lad called Bryn who did the same injury to me about 6 months ago.
Right.
And he had found my video on Instagram, just searching the thing, the injury, and then messaged me and was just asked me so many questions about surgery because he had surgery the next day. Like, well, how am I going to feel? How am I going to feel? Anything I need to know? Anything you should give? Just all these little tips that I was able to just answer from my experience, and that's really helped him get in the position he is now. I think he started back in work like last week or something, or 2 weeks ago. So just helping these types of people that were in the situation I was in and get told, this is horrific, you're going to have to learn to walk again. All bad news.
Yeah.
So then be able to go online and actually see it's not all bad news. In 12 months' time, I can be back in the gym as strong as I was beforehand, when actually you're being told by the doctors it's going to be 18 months to 2 years before you're fully recovered. You can see real life examples of people actually proving these people wrong. And for me, that really, well, if I was in that position, that would push me into a position to go, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And that would really help me with a recovery, because you're seeing it can be done and you're not just listening to these words of the professionals that haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
And they've just got to give you a best guess. And they say 18 months to 2 years because that's a best guess. When actually after 10, 12 months, I was back as strong as I was.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
Yeah.
If you don't want to jump and sprint.
I mean, you could probably say that with anything. It's rare that people don't answer the question when you say, this has happened to you or you've done this. I don't know anyone else. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions. As you know, there's human nature, isn't it, to try and help most people. Anyway, I think
there's no point have I ever turned down a message request, and if it's just someone saying, because a lot of the guys it's just with a knee injury or they've done like an ACL.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know to start with, because it's a different. Yours is a ligament, mine's a tendon, but I can tell you this is my experience and this is what I went through.
Yeah.
And whether any of that helps them, is kind of on their recovery.
Yeah.
But for me, just being able to be in a position to answer some of them questions puts me in a better position than I was 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, helping one person was better than helping no one at the time. So it's just makes the world that slightly bit better, isn't it, when someone answers a question when you are really in a dark hole.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of support, isn't it? Do you, so what's the what are your thoughts on the future?
So at the minute, like I said before, I ref Manchester Strongest Man this year.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't compete, and obviously I know the guys there, and it was just nice to be invited and be asked to ref the competition.
Be involved.
I really quite enjoyed the reffing side of it, because you're still around all the athletes, you're still around the banter, and you're involved with it all.
Yeah.
But you're also not having to push yourself that bit more as much as you would be. You're at least involved with. So I think next year I'll be trying to kind of ref and be involved with a few more competitions. I might try and put myself out there for maybe some of the static competitions towards the middle of the end of next year. But that all depends on how I am. Like, I'm not going to push myself unless I feel like I can push myself, because I can't put my family or myself in that position that they were in just over 12 months ago. It's unfair on them, but also just mentally, you don't know how easy it's been. The first 3 or 4 months were the hardest I've ever been through. And then when you start seeing positivity and you can actually see things, the numbers going up and everything getting that slightly bit better, it gets a lot easier. I don't know whether I could do that first 6-8 weeks again in the hospital. Like
I've got so many different questions in my head. I mean, you've been really kind of, open about that. I kind of want to kind of explore that kind of being sat in a hospital bed, but also I don't want you to, you've gone through a lot of things.
Ask away.
Yeah. I mean, how was that? must have been frustrating if you're used to being fit and strong and healthy, and then I had it where I'd kind of partially dislocated my shoulder, and the amount of stuff you do is, it wasn't even with my right shoulder, I'm left-handed. The amount of things you just getting up out of the seat, or you're brushing your teeth or whatever, it's very, you notice it.
Yeah. I think it's going to sound mental, this, but I didn't know how much you needed your knees.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Because I was sat in bed 90 degrees, like legs up. And I couldn't move my legs to the side, couldn't move them around, because obviously it's the tendons and stuff that are connecting it all that kind of move it across, put it down. So I couldn't do any of that.
So your feet were in the air?
No, my feet were like, I was just on, sat up like this, pretty much for most of it. And obviously I couldn't move my legs, couldn't do anything, because you try and lift your leg up, you think, oh, it's your quad that's doing it, but it's not, it's your tendon that's doing it, because it's your quad that's
attached to your tendon.
It's the femur, it's attached to the tendon, but I didn't realise how important these things were.
Yeah.
And that's why it sounds mental, that the knees, obviously you need your knees to walk, but just be able to pick your leg up and move it and turn over. I couldn't do any of it. So that was mental. Like, I think the worst thing for me was because the doctor said you're going to have to learn to walk again. That's all you think about. You're like, well, what about lifting your legs up for the first time, or moving them to the side, or standing up? You're not thinking about all these little things beforehand.
Yeah.
You're thinking, what if I can't walk again? And that thought going through your mind, it just mentally is exhausting. Because you're not thinking about the little steps you need to take before you make that. It's running before you can walk. It's exactly that. And unless you've kind of been through that, you don't realise.
Yeah.
Your brain's going, what do you mean you can't walk again? Your body's like, we need to be able to walk again. They're like fighting against each other.
Sure.
And that it's hard just being in your own head, just constantly.
Perhaps the focus on rehab is the kind of, right, well, let's work on actually just moving to the side or whatever, like really small steps all the way through rather than going.
I think for me, 6.5 weeks in the hospital was the worst 6.5 weeks I've had probably ever. But looking back now, it was probably, from a recovery point of view, the best thing that could have happened to me. Because every day the physios would come round and do what they need to get, even if it was just for 15 minutes a day. They'd get you stood up, they'd get you doing a couple of steps, and they'd get you doing a little bit more each day. People that I've spoken to since have been sent home a lot quicker than that. And they've struggled with some of the recovery early on, because they're not getting physio every day. They're getting, someone comes round from the house maybe once a week, they'll come round and do some physio with them, and then you've got to do it yourself. Whereas for me, I had to get up. I was 50 minutes every day. I had to get up and I had to do a bit. And for that, the recovery that's where I've really pushed on, I think, because I had that focus early on to get the blood going, get stood up, get out, do 5 steps, do 7 steps, do 10 steps, and just slowly get into that position to be able to go up a step, to be able to be sent home. So as much as it was bad, from a recovery point of view, I think it's really helped me being there. And from a recovery point of view, again, going to sound mental, I think doing both has helped me. Because people that have done one are struggling for like a year, 2 years after, because they become overly reliant on their good leg. So they've got a good leg, they've got a bad leg, and they won't lead with the bad leg because the good leg works, so they'll work it on. I didn't have a good leg. So both have had to get as strong as each other to be able to get where I am. So I think from a recovery point of view, doing both has really helped me get back quicker than just doing one.
That's interesting, because I've heard Gary Neville talk about the thing that the start of his downfall of his career was getting a calf injury. And then the recovery from that, you're over, become more dependent on the other side. You get imbalanced, and the strength's different, and so with the imbalances and everything, you pick up other niggles in different areas, and it was just like domino rally through the whole body.
I think that is how it is. So that's what I mean. The statement doing both feels mental, but recovery wise, I genuinely think that's done me a world of good.
Yeah.
In the long run. At the time, maybe not, but now it's definitely. I feel they both feel as strong as each other.
Yeah.
Because obviously, some people a year on are probably not feeling that because they are a bit more reliant on the stronger leg.
When it comes to strongman, you know, people think about big guys lifting strong weights. Do you think, is there a culture like steroids in the competition? Or?
I don't think the competitions is a culture of steroids.
No.
But there is steroids in strongman.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you've got natural strongman and you've got strongman.
Right, okay.
So natural strongman is, they test their athletes, they do all it. I think they did it in Galway last month or the month before.
Okay.
Big world competition. And it was a completely tested event. And then the federation's called Natural Strongman.
Yeah.
So for there to be a real kind of push on, this is natural strongman, this is strongman, shows that one's regulated and one's not.
Right.
And to be ahead of the game and to be better than everyone else, especially about the Englands and Brits and Worlds. I'm not saying they're all doing it, but at some point they've had some sort of help to push them through barriers to get through, to get them strong and be bigger people.
Yeah.
And I think the culture of steroids has become a lot. There's a horrible stigma on it years ago that it was just bad and what everyone was on it, and it just made you this big, angry, whatever person. Whereas, like I said, the culture of it and the medicinal side of it and the research side of it all.
Yeah.
The same with like peptides and stuff, because peptides are also banned or potentially banned in natural strongman.
Right.
And your body naturally produces these. Peptides are just amino acids put into different formulas to then help with muscle recovery and muscle growth or all these sorts of things. And these are just natural concurrent things that are in like the stomach lining of people.
Yeah.
That just obviously then you can get stuff that then enhances that to make them work better. And they're technically natural substances because they're just stuff the body makes. They're not synthetic anyway.
Yeah.
But they would also be banned in, I know they're banned in powerlifting and stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're banned in the strongman game as well. And they're not steroids. Steroids are obviously synthetic hormones. So I think the world of strongman and steroids, yes, they go hand in hand. There's definitely people on ridiculous amounts of stuff, and there's also people that are maybe just on like TRT or like low doses to keep them at the same level.
Yeah.
And like I said, the peptides and stuff, because peptides is something that I did a little bit of this year. I used BPC and TB to just help with. I had little like muscle strains in the elbow and knee and hamstring. And I was like, I'm just going to try it, because all the way through my recovery, people were like, you need to try this, you need to try this. So BPC and TB together is called the Wolverine stack.
Okay.
It's because it regenerates and really helps you with recovery. So people were like, well, why aren't you trying that with your tendons and that? And I was like, first of all, I'm doing so well already. I want to give my body a fighting chance to do what it can do before I try anything that's going to enhance it. So then with the peptides, I was like, well, let's try it. So I started, I did about a month's worth of it, and everything just felt like, it's weird. Everything just feels okay. You know, like you've not got, but sometimes you get out of bed and your back hurts or your knee hurts. You're just on these little things, you just make you feel all right, just all the time.
Yeah. And
they, like I said, they're naturally occurring amino acids just put into some sort of formulation. I don't really understand it. It's a bit like Bitcoin. Like I said. If you can work out peptides in Bitcoin or work out, then you can do really well from it. But trying to work out what that is impossible. But they would be considered unnatural as well in these situations. Yeah. So I think there's definitely, it'd be ridiculous for me to say there's no steroids.
Grey areas, isn't there, in everything? Yeah.
It'd be ridiculous to say there's no steroids in strongman, because there absolutely is. There wouldn't be need of of tested confederations if there wasn't.
Sure.
But then also, at what stage do you class some steroids or peptide steroids when actually they're actually going to steroids? Is it because it's synthetic? It should be banned. For me, you should be able to do kind of whatever you want to be able to do within the rules of the game. And if you want to take some sort of steroid to be the strongest man in the world, and you become the strongest man in the world, then you're the strongest man in the world, because the people you're up against are also got to be on some sort of enhancement to also get them to a position where they're competing. You can't be the top 10% of the planet without some sort of help. Yeah.
It's an interesting topic, and they've been interested with it with cycling as well, and athletics, and you've got the Open Olympics now, which is makes me smile.
I think it's class, like that sort of thing where you just, who doesn't want to see 100 meters run in 5 seconds? You know what I mean?
There's a comedian called Tommy Turner, and he used to talk about the Drug Olympics, and says that pharmaceutical companies could sponsor athletes, and stuff like that. And he said that, show jumping, you'd have the horses moonwalking and stuff like that. And it was because I think it was an Irish athlete that had been caught using drugs in the Olympics, and he just thought, why not? As long as it's not affecting your health and stuff like that.
But even then, it's your decision. Like everything else on the planet it's your decision whether you want to do something. It's then the competition you're wanting to try out for. It's on them to set boundaries and set the rules. If you're just going to have a completely untested world's strongest man, you'd be ridiculous to think that no one's going to go, well, I need to, for the best chance of this, I'm going to give myself the best chance.
Sure.
So
I always think the uncomfortable truth with cycling, with oh my God, what's he called? Lance Armstrong. Oh my God, my brain. I tell you, too much coffee this morning. Brain's gone. With Lance Armstrong was that everyone was on steroids. Everyone that was on the podium with him at the end of the Tour de France in all 7 wins have been done for using performance enhancing.
You could do something ridiculous, like 90% of cyclists at that time were taking some sort of enhancement. But Lance was just the best at doing it.
Exactly.
So he's the one that got in trouble for it.
He's a full guy, but probably has something to do with how he went about it as well. But it's an uncomfortable truth for the whole industry, and I don't know where I'm going with that.
Well, I think it's if like you said, you've got the Untested Olympics, so you've got these sort of things. In Strongman, you've got natural and the other one. So in sports, why can't you have natural and the other? Again, who doesn't want to see a javelin thrown 150 meters? These are all things you'd love to see.
You don't want to go in the crowd, do you? But
have to do in them open-end coliseum. Just doesn't count.
100 ran in 3 seconds. Why not?
It's just for the world we live in now, and everything's content and everything's try who can do something slightly different. There's going to be a lot over the next 10 years. There's going to be a lot more of it where there's some sort of you got to think like Monjaro that's now legal in the UK, and that started as a peptide,
right?
And it was, I'm sure it's derived from like retatrutide, it's derived from them same sort of peptides,
GLP, isn't it?
That then give you the appetite suppressant. So if Monjaro, if you're looking at it from its structure as a peptide, then why would if that's, you can get that from the doctors, it's not illegal, is it?
No.
If you can get it prescribed, it's not illegal in the country. So then if something's not illegal in the country, how can you say it's illegal to take in some of these sports? You know what I mean? When it's from you've got an ethical point of view, you've got an actual point of view. But if you just look at it just purely on, can you buy it at Tesco or not? Then I think carrot should be illegal if you're in the Olympics. So.
Gives you an unfair sight advantage.
That's it. In the dark.
Crazy. Well, it sounds like you got quite a lot going on, and so obviously you can't make a living really from strongman.
Unless you're winning the big competitions, you can't really. It's not a full-time job.
Well, what do you do outside?
I work IT.
Yeah.
So, and I've been doing it for 10 years this year.
Yeah.
it's good fun.
Yeah.
As is challenges, of course.
Yeah.
None of them physical. It's all mental challenges, but it's, I think that's, again, it's one of the reasons I like the gym so much, because it's the opposite of what I do day to day.
Yeah.
It takes me away from it. It gives me an hour and a half, 2 hours of just me versus the weights, me versus the gym. And you can come back and you can just be a better person because you've got all of the stress of your day out of you. You can just be the best dad, husband, person you can be.
Yeah.
Because you've just bench pressed 200 kilos or something just to feel good about yourself.
Amazing. Well, it's been quite an inspirational chat, and really appreciate you coming in and talking about it and being so honest about what is a very emotional thing.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I am going to take a bite of one of these cakes. That is
Yeah. Well, definitely it will up the calorie intake. I always say don't have a full one, but I'd say to you probably not a full box. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it.